My baby Jojo. Get more at Music Box.
Hello, dear students. Welcome back to class. In our last class, we considered flowering plants. And in looking at flowering plants, we're looking at the reproductive organ, which is the flower. Today, we shall be looking at a different topic. This time, we'll be considering metamorphosis. Metamorphosis in itself is actually a series of changes that occur, especially in organisms like insects, from egg to adult. Now, in order for you to be able to understand the topic clearly, come to class. Metamorphosis. This can be defined as the series of rapid changes that occur in an insect in the course of development from egg to adult stage, which means all insects have to pass through this stage from egg until they become adults. Basically, we have two types. They are complete metamorphosis and the incomplete metamorphosis. In the complete metamorphosis, the changes begins after the egg are laid. The egg becomes the larva. The larva changes into the pupa, and the pupa changes into the adult. One thing that is worthy of note here is that in the course of the change, none of the stages have any resemblance one with another. The stages usually begins with an egg. The egg are laid by the insects and the egg hatches to become the larva. The larva changes into pupa and then the adult. All of these stages have characteristics unique to that stage, and none of them have anything in resemblance. Organisms that carry out their own changes in this form is known as organism practicing complete metamorphosis. Then, on the other hand, the incomplete metamorphosis. Here, there is one resemblance in one or two of the stages. As it is, the insect always lays an egg. That is where it begins. The egg changes to become the nymphs. The nymphs becomes the adult. So the origin is the egg, and the egg changes to the nymph, and the nymph become adult. A close look at the nymph and the adult, there is a great resemblance. The only difference could be one is younger and the other is well developed. A quick look at the general characteristics of all insects. All insects will possess these 4 characteristics. If an organism has these characteristics present, it should be an insect. 1. They have 3 body divisions. The 3 body divisions are head, thorax, and abdomen. They have 3 pairs of jointed legs, which is equal to 6. I think that's correct. Then another characteristic they all possess is that all of them possess compound eyes. They also have another structure called the antenna, which are used for locating their way. And the characteristics are 3 body divisions, 3 pairs of jointed legs, possession of compound eyes, and antenna. That's correct. Now let's look at some examples of organisms that carry out complete metamorphosis. What do you see on the screen? Butterfly. And the next one, what do you see? Mosquito. These are examples of organisms that carries out complete metamorphosis. Housefly. And that is the bee. Okay, now we're going to quickly look at one example, looking at the life history and observing the different changes that occur as the organism begins its development from egg to the adult stage. Happy viewing.
Butterflies. They are some of the most magical insects you can see in the environment. Their wings look like beautiful artworks, and they come in all the colours of the rainbow. But did you know that the beautiful butterflies you see actually used to be caterpillars? Now you might be wondering, how did they change from a tiny, wriggly, worm-looking insect to a stunning butterfly? Well, you're about to find out. The life cycle of a butterfly has 4 stages. It all begins when a female butterfly lays her eggs. Inside these eggs, caterpillars begin to grow. Once an egg is ready, it hatches and out comes a larva, also known as a caterpillar. The caterpillar leaves its egg behind, finds a leaf, and starts eating and eating and eating. You might have seen a caterpillar in a garden munching away. As a caterpillar grows, its skin becomes too tight for its growing body. The caterpillar sheds this old skin because underneath there is a new, bigger skin, which is much more comfortable. This process of shedding skin is called molting. Now it's time for the caterpillar to begin changing into a pupa. The pupa stage is pretty uneventful because all they really do is hang upside down in a cocoon. A cocoon is also called a chrysalis. The pupa needs to stay really still, so predators don't spot it wriggling around and eat it for dinner. This is the stage where the caterpillar begins to grow its wings. The last stage is when the adult butterfly breaks free. It slowly comes out of its cocoon and spreads its beautiful wings, getting ready to take flight. Once it's ready, it will fly off and eventually lay its own eggs, starting the cycle all over again. As you can see, the caterpillar goes through a number of changes before it reaches the final stage of being a butterfly. This spectacular physical transformation is called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is said to have occurred when an animal transforms from its young form into its adult form.
Some examples of organisms that carry out incomplete metamorphosis are cockroach. One you can see on the screen is a good example. That is how the cockroach looks like. Cockroach. Other examples include, what can you see on the screen? Termites. Another example is praying mantis. That's correct. The grasshopper. Now, quickly, I want to listen to a video that tells us about the life history of the termites, an example of an organism of incomplete metamorphosis.
The life cycle of the termite begins with a mating flight, wherein swarming winged reproductive males and females leave established colonies and procreate. After fertilization, winged termites land and shed their wings, going on to form new colonies. These insects then become the king or queen termites of their newly established colonies. The queen and king termites are at the center of the termite life cycle and are responsible for reproduction. The king. His main job in life is to mate with the queen. Also, through chemical secretions known as pheromones, he and the queen determine how many of their offspring develop into workers, soldiers or reproductives. In 5 years, a king and queen can grow the colony into 1 million termites. The queen. Her only job is to lay eggs. She is fed by the workers. Along with the king, she also secretes the pheromone that controls specialization in the colony. A queen can live for 25 years or more, reported to reach a production of more than 2,000 eggs a day. Eggs. After the fertilized queen lays her eggs, they hatch into pale white larvae. Eggs hatch into larvae and molt to develop into workers, soldiers, and primary or secondary reproductives. The queen can lay from several hundred to several thousand every day. The eggs take about 30 days to hatch into larvae. Larvae. These immature termites are fed through the salivary glands of the king, and later by other mature worker termites. Based on chemical messages received from the queen and king, the larvae will develop into one of 5 specialties. Over the course of several molts, these larvae grow to assume a role in one of the 3 termite colony castes: workers, soldiers, and reproductive termites, also known as elates. Nymphs. An intermediate stage, nymphs are destined to become one of 2 types of reproductive termites. While they wait, they help in the care of the larvae and the king and queen. A nymph is a young termite that is going through molts, a process of shedding its exoskeleton, to become a reproductive. First, a termite develops a soft exoskeleton under its current, hard exoskeleton. Then, once the termite has reached maturity, its outermost skeleton splits open, and the new exoskeleton enlarges and hardens. This molting process continues throughout a termite's life cycle based on the colony's needs. Workers. The bread and butter of the colony. They forage for food, eat wood, feed the queen, the king and the soliders and care for the larvae. They are sterile. Soldiers. They can't chew wood, so others must feed them. But they can kill. If the colony comes under attack, the soldiers slash with their oversized mandibles and emit a thick, glue-like substance that immobilizes invaders. Winged reproductives, or elates. In a mature colony, thousands of nymphs will develop wing pads and become winged reproductives. They grow long, fragile wings and feed themselves, waiting for swarming season. The winged reproductives reach maturity and, when the time is right, head into the sky en masse, creating the familiar and dreaded swarming ritual. They fly away from their home colony, toward any light source, then fall to the ground. Dilates. Only 1% of the tens of thousands of alates survive the process of leaving the colony, landing and looking for a mate. Those that survive will pair off, beat their wings from their bodies, and begin a highly structured mating ritual. New royalty. In the rare instance when wood, water and a matched set of delates come together, they may themselves become king and queen. A new colony is born.
Having watched the video on metamorphosis in insects, I believe by now you know why there are this series of changes that occur in insects before they can attain adulthood. And basically, we have two types of metamorphosis, which are complete and incomplete. And one major characteristic that distinguishes the complete from the incomplete is that in the complete metamorphosis, the larval stage and the adult stage have no resemblance. But in the incomplete metamorphosis, the nymph stage has some resemblance with the adult stage. But the only difference is that their reproductive organs are yet to be mature. And more so, in the complete metamorphosis, they actually transform from egg to larva, larva to pupa, and then to adult or imago. But for the other, which is the incomplete metamorphosis, what we actually have is that the egg transforms into a nymph, which eventually becomes the adult insect. But one thing must take note of is that during this transformation or changes that occur, the insect loses their outer skin, and that process of losing their outer skin is what we call molting or excising. So when insects carry out exesis, they are actually removing their outer skin so that they can transform or change into the next stage. Having gone through the class, I believe you now have a better understanding what metamorphosis is all about. Don't forget, do the quiz and also play the game. And you will have fun while you go through the game. Because if you don't do this, the next mode will not open to you. Have a nice time. I'll see you next time.